Okay, we're going to do the next part of this, which is actually making a crown that goes on top of a TiBase for a DO implant. Now we're going to make a monolithic or a single crown that goes on top of the TiBase. This is not a two-piece, but this is a one-piece. So how we set this up, we're going to set this up by going over here to the implant, and we're going to select screw retain crown. And then once we go to screw retain crown, now I already set this up so it's all here on the right-hand side, but we'll kind of go down the list. So we're going to go screw retain crown. We're going to go bio individual. If you have a wax up of a copy, then you can use that. And then from here, we're going to select what we're going to use. So material wise, we're actually going to use for this one, we'll use Ivoclar Emax CAD. Device is going to be our virtual device. Now the TiBase is we're going to use a dense ply Sirona others, and we're going to go down here to OTS 4.0L. This is the regular wide TiBase that goes with DO. The TS 3.5L is the narrow. So we're going to use the 4OL. And I actually scanned on the scan post. So you could also use your TiBase with the scan body, the little gray hex head, or you can use the scan post. And there's benefits to either or. The TiBase is great because you're using the exact TiBase you're going to be using for the final, whereas you only have to use this part plus a scan body. And but this is a scan post, scan body, and then you're going to attach it to a TiBase. So this is just adding an extra component. I'm going to use the scan post with the scan body going forward. So that it automatically selects the OTS 4.0L scan post is what we have. Now we already did the scans, so that was in the previous module. So we're going to go next to model. Now it's going to ask you to select the scan body head, click scan body head. I already did that. You just double click it twice. And then everything else looks like it's set up. Just kind of check model access. It's just saying if you move everything, it's going to change things. It looks pretty good there. View model. There's your lower and with your occlusion, so you can see how your contacts line up to the bite, and looks pretty good. And then we're going to put your scan body. So that's your scan post with a scan body head. Let's go to design. Now, I already designed the crown. Let's turn off. I'm going to turn off the scan body. I already designed the crown for the most part. There's some things I could, reshape, but it's pretty much designed. In this mode, all you're doing is designing the crown. So you design the crown that's going to fit on top of the implant. Take that away. And then we'll take away the restoration. And then this is the TiBase, which is the second part. And then you're going to put the implant back on or the restoration back on. And that's how that's going to sit. And that is the internal aspect of your scan. So once you finish your design, put the TiBase on, the implant back on, you get it to where you like it. In terms of this, the occlusion's on that marginal ridge because that's literally the only spot where this is touching on that tooth. If you want, you can go back into administration. You can turn on the articulation. And then we can go to design, and then let's see what articulation looks like. Now remember, we're working with the upper, so you're going to put on the lower virtual, and you're going to see where it's hitting. Now you have an excursive interference right there. So let's turn that down so you can see. So what we're going to do is just go to our remove tool, and in that one spot, we're just going to remove that till the excursive interference is gone. And so now you have your static right here. I might want to change it just a little bit closer to the... And then take that away a little bit. And so now we have a little bit more bite closer to that center of that implant. But you're not going to get anything on that distal there. So that's the only spot. So you want to make sure there's no excursive interferences and no heavy contacts in that area. Once you have all the contacts, that looks a little high. So we're going to bring these down. Same with that. Once you have the contacts where you want, no excursive interferences, then what you're going to do is send it off to manufacturer. Manufacturing is going to have this setup. Now, these are specific blocks called an A block. The A block has a hole in it, and that hole represents where this is going to be placed. So there's nowhere else you can put this crown in space on this block. This is the only spot it can go because that's where the hole is. Once you have that, you're going to then hit export to InLab Cam, and you're going to start and send it. So that is how you design a one-piece monolithic crown on a TiBase using a scan post and scan body.